What is happening, folks? Welcome to Hunting with Tripler. Oh, excuse me for a second. Mario, yes, I've been waiting for your call. Yes, it finally sold. Did it sell for more than $1 million? No, it didn't. Did it sell for more than no, it didn't sell for more than $500,000. Did it sell for, no, it didn't sell for 100,000. What do you mean what do you mean I'm fired? Of course I didn't call Wata and Heritage. What is happening? Did you just hang up? I think Mario just hung up on me because I didn't sell the game for enough. Well, let's talk about it.
I collect so many things. Would you like to share this journey with me? I will show you the prizes I got today. So come along with me, come on and join in the chase. Yeah!
So we've got a couple of awesome things going on in today's episode. I got a box in the mail from a seller who I'd done a number of deals with, and he gave me the boxes to complete a whole bunch of Pokemon games. You're gonna love seeing the condition of these boxes. And then we're gonna conclude the story of Mario, close that chapter, and move on to the next one. Something a little special came in the mail, and I'd love for you guys to kind of see how this looks up close. So this box right here looks pretty special for a number of reasons, but you have to get the backstory. And to get the backstory, you have to go back to an episode here that honestly, not a lot of people got to see it, so I'm going to link it here, but I'm gonna play a little bit of footage. So let's check that out first. The day keeps on giving, and we have not even hit the best spot of the day.
So you got some goodies. You kept all your boxes, man.
Yeah, I think I have the Game Boy game boxes, but...
Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here, folks. This has a bit of wear, but it's complete. All of his paperwork, it's always in there, always. Pokemon is super hot, and here is the kicker. I was shocked he didn't have more of the boxes. Of course, this one is just slightly crushed there on the bottom. You guys are gonna hate me when I tell you I paid $100 for this.
And I mentioned in that video that these boxes eventually would make their way to me, and fast forward about 5 or 6 months later and they've finally come in. These are all gonna be completed now, and I'll take a little bit more time to show you that. So let's break down everything that's inside of this box, because I don't think you guys are gonna totally appreciate it until you see it up close. So we're gonna take a look at the items that were basically just throw-ins, items that he basically said I could just have. He had these items sitting around, and of course I wasn't going to disagree with him. I said, absolutely, I'd love to take them. And the question might come up as to, where did you get this stuff? Who is this guy? You have to go back, and there are 3 episodes dedicated to the same guy who's hooked me up with all of this stuff. It started with a Switch Lite trade, which I upgraded to a Switch bundle, and I got a whole bunch of N64 items. It then moved to a huge vintage toy lot and video game lot in exchange for some cash. And then later on, another deal with a whole bunch of Pokemon. There were some additional sports cards, some comics, various other toys, and I got all of that for some cash. And then in that same deal, he said he still had the boxes to all of these games in which he said he was going to get to me at some point in time. And some point in time finally came. So the first box here is a box of G1 Transformers. There's some really cool vintage mini Autobots, and there's actually, check that out, cassette for Soundwave. Either this is Soundwave or it's Blaster. I don't know. Either way, this is G1. It also came with some of the manuals, which it's always nice to have these. And then here's something that I actually don't remember at all. These are like, can you guys see this? Hopefully it'll zoom in on that. So I don't remember these at all. I don't remember anything about these. They've got legs. They're kind of like rubberized from Japan. I just can't make it out, but anyway, there was a box full of these. Probably one of you out there already knows exactly what that is. Please let me know in the comments. Save me some time and effort. More Transformers. I think these came out in the early to mid 90s, and I'm not certain if they're considered G1. And I know there's probably a timeline when G1 sort of was the end of it, and then the new life cycle of Transformers came along. There's a couple of these that I actually had as a kid growing up and I played with. And for those of you who are curious which ones I have, another one right here, another one here, another one right here. This says Transformers Prime on it. I don't know if this came with that particular series, but this was also included. Then we had another cassette from either Blaster or Soundwave. Again, I don't remember exactly which one. What was his name? Blur? No, it's not Blur. It's not Cup, it's not Blur. Wheeljack? I don't remember. This frustrating. This little guy looks like a miniature Bumblebee and a miniature something or other, but let's see what year we got on this. This is actually 1984 here. I think to some of you that is definitely gonna bring back some really fantastic memories, because these two tiny boxes right here have brought back just some amazing memories of my childhood. Now this here surprisingly has some really good resale value. There's a part of me that wants to give this to my son. He is a massive Lego fan, but I also have to separate, is he gonna play with this or is this just good for resale? If you look this line item up, even used, I think it goes for over 50, 60 bucks. Unfortunately, both of the capes to the minifigures, they're not there. So I know that's gonna affect the value. The box is there, all the instructions are there. Everything else, I basically built the entire thing. It's there, so hoping I might get at least 50 bucks for this, and I would be really happy with that. But really what you're waiting for is, it's time for us to line up these Pokemon games with these boxes. Let's put them together, take a look at the condition, and start figuring out what value we have. And I have to add this here, I don't really have a nostalgic bone in my body relative to Pokemon. It was one of those things that came out in the late 90s. Yes, there was some of that came in around the mid 90s, but it didn't really get its mega popularity until the very late 90s. And at that point, I was in high school and I just didn't really get into that type of collecting or playing video games like that. Whenever I get Pokemon, to me, it's always about resale and really nothing else. I just don't have any connection to it whatsoever. The first one up here is Pokemon Pinball. The side here has just a little bit of crushing. There's actually a small crease here on the corner. If I was grading this, actually, you know what, now that I'm looking a little bit closer, there's another crease right here. And I like to take the pictures so that people are seeing the condition as I'm seeing it, so there's no confusion whatsoever. So that is number one. Number two here is Pokemon trading card game, limited edition Pokemon card inside. So the first things first, we're gonna open this up. I see some paperwork. Oh, you know what? No manual. I'm almost shocked here. It's got the Game Boy insert, but there is absolutely no manual, and I'm super surprised. But anyway, here's the cartridge right here. It's even got the original plastic. This game is in absolutely pristine condition. The label looks really, really, really nice. So let's go ahead, slide this in, put it in, add in the insert, close it up. The only creasing that I see is actually on the fold here. That is super common for most of these boxes. The wrapping is still on it. I mean, honestly, the rest of the box, it is pristine. It really, really is tremendous. This one, I gotta tell you, looks amazing, with the only exception being the fold right on the top. Next up, we have Pokemon Puzzle, and I actually don't remember seeing this in my lot of games. It's possible I have it over there somewhere, but I'm not seeing it immediately. And again, unfortunately, I don't have the manual. I've got the two inserts. This box looks almost perfect. There's no crease on the fold, and there's maybe like the slightest, like as if there's gonna be a small crease in it. The rest of it, still got the wrapping on it. I mean, who left the wrapping on their games? This is just phenomenal. I would say this is probably an 8. There is, as I'm looking a little bit closer, maybe a small crease right here on the front. It's hard to see though. I don't want to pull off the wrapping. So anyway, this is really nice as well. Next up is Pokemon Special Pikachu Edition. The box here, as I'm looking at it, it really does look phenomenal. I mean, having the plastic wrapping on it, again, it's one of those things where I just go, man, I mean, who does that? Who takes care of their games in such a way? You know what? The flap is not, it's slightly bent. That's not true. So there's a small bend in it. I have the manual for this downstairs. It also has the other 3 inserts. So I've got the manual, I have the inserts, and now we have the game too. There's just a minimal amount of wear on the front, but overall, I would say this is pretty special here. I've sold one of these recently I had a complete inbox one. I sold it for $500. So this one is gonna go for some pretty good money, and I'm guessing my return on this one's gonna be even better considering the condition with the plastic wrapping is still on it. Next up is Pokemon Red version, and I also have to say this box looks just tremendous. Just a slight nick on the very top, but I mean, it's minimal in terms of wear. Minor creasing on the actual box fold. Unfortunately, in this one, I don't, again, have the manual. I have the 3 inserts, I have this, so, man, that's a bummer. So I'll have to either find a manual for this, because of course you get so much more when it's totally complete, but either way, the box with the wrapping on it, this looks so nice. I'm trying to see if there's any creasing on the front. I don't see any at all. I don't see any creasing on the back. There's just a little bit of contour on the back, a little bit of indentation, but there's no creasing. It almost looks like the box was made that way. This one definitely would get a high grade for sure. Pokemon Silver. Now, I think this one is actually going for some pretty good money. I'm not certain, but I think I might already have a copy of this. The fold on this one is almost just perfect. I'm seeing no creasing on the front, nothing on the sides, absolutely nothing on the back. I mean, this one looks like it's fresh. Again, I think I'm gonna have to say I don't have the manual, so I'm really surprised here. There's effectively no manuals included in any of this, which is just shocking to me. 3 inserts, and this cartridge, by the way, guys, this one looks amazing too. The label on this looks phenomenal. This is such a beautiful treasure trove of items. And so this one I actually am not seeing the box for, so unfortunately it looks like this one is just gonna be loose. I'll just be selling this one as is. I'm not sure what the price point is on this right now, but I'm guessing between 25 and 40 bucks, probably somewhere in that range. Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 for Game Boy Color. The box on this one is definitely crushed. The game is in here, so that's fantastic. I'm not certain if there is a manual or not. Looks like no manual again. All of this is very surprising. He kept all of the paperwork for everything. It's got the 2 inserts, it's got the game, which the game looks to be in pristine condition. Unfortunately, no manual. And the last one is Street Fighter Alpha. This game is definitely crushed. It doesn't show a lot of creasing, but it does show a lot of crushing. That's probably just as bad. Let's take a look inside. Oh, it looks so nice. Again, we don't have the manual, just the inserts. It looks like the game has almost never been played. Oh boy, that is in pristine condition. So the label looks good, the cartridge is really nice. I'll go ahead and slip that back in there. Is that just an awesome trek down memory lane for some of you guys? All of these Game Boy Color games, Game Boy games, just in phenomenal condition. So the Mario game, it finally sold, and it sold at auction a couple of weeks ago, and I've been trying to figure out the best way to just tell the entire story. But a lot of things happened from the moment I bought it to the day that I sold it, and one of those being WATA and Heritage being called out for crazy pricing manipulation. So we're gonna go back in time. I'm gonna show you exactly where I got this game, discovering that it might be interesting, going off getting it graded, finding out what that grade was, and then all the way to deciding to sell this on eBay. We are about to meet up with someone who has been working on a $10 game collection for over a year.
Yeah, that part was shocking to me.
Yeah, me too.
Shocking.
Hey guys, so I've been spending a lot of time here and going through each of these games, and there might be something really unique about this. I don't know, but I remember from a Pawn Stars episode that there was something about a sticker seal on these Mario Brother games.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. I have this to offer you.
And this is...
This is the earliest sticker sealed Super Mario Brothers Nintendo game.
Here's the game. And what makes this potentially special is it is either a first or a second edition print of this game. But a guy like Norman, who cherishes the historical value of the video game industry, he actually responded, and he was extremely thoughtful in his response. Here's exactly what I'm sending in to be graded. The box itself looks really good. It looks clean. I am genuinely hoping that ends up being a matte sticker versus a glossy one. So one quick update. Last week I mentioned the Mario game is probably gonna get one of the slower services and that it might take at least a couple of months before I see it. Well, guess what's coming tomorrow? The Mario game is coming tomorrow. Yeah! Oh, it's definitely graded. It's in a slab. It is in a slab. All right, here we go. A 6.5! A 6.5 gloss sticker, folks. And that is where we're landing. Check that out. Let's zoom that in a little bit so you guys can see that up closer. So the update on Mario is I listed it. In fact, with all the news that was coming out this week on WATA and Heritage auctions, I got a little bit nervous on Heritage. I got nervous that the people and the clientele who might have been using that service might have walked away from it. I've listened and watched the documentary. I've seen probably 6 or 7 different channels talking about it. And I'm gonna show you exactly where I was the day that I sold this. I was sitting with my barber right here. This is me getting my hair cut. And I don't know if you guys are having trouble getting time in with your barber, but it took me 4 weeks to schedule an appointment. So here I am sitting in the chair and I'm watching the auctions start to kind of take off. And it started a little bit slow, but things really in that last 5 minutes, it just like, it blew up. And I was kind of worried when it was sitting around that $1,500 to $2,000 mark that it was probably gonna land somewhere right in there. But as you can see, things really took off. And right in the end, you see it landed right here. Over $4,500. That is where things landed. And I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier. So that is where things landed with the Mario game. That's how much I made on it. And I gotta say, I'm really happy. So the last thing I'm gonna add here is one more voice, one more person talking about WATA and Heritage. I made a choice right after the news dropped that not only was I going to list my game immediately, but I was going to list it on eBay. I was too concerned about the possibility that, number one, Heritage would lose some of its clients. Number two, it was going to take at least a month or more to actually get it into an auction and then actually get to the selling point. So I was really concerned about the amount of time that would have elapsed before my game sold, which also meant that we were going to see potentially a downturn in the market, and I didn't want to be at that place. So I made the choice to go with eBay. Here's the thing that sticks out in my brain, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, or I feel like WATA is a dangerous company or I don't. I think there are 2 different types of graders out there. There's those that are collectors and there are those that are resellers. Those that are collectors are probably just interested in the slab. They want to see what the grade value of the game actually is. They're probably not interested in selling it. They'd like to see it framed up. I mean, of course, you could go to a frame store, you could slip it into a hard plastic case, and you could be done with it. But a lot of people want to know what the grade is. Much like sports cards and Pokemon cards, people want to know if mine's a PSA 10 or a Beckett 10 or any other grading service and get that gem mint call out. I mean, it's very important to them. So it's no different with video games, right? So on the collector side, people like seeing what the grade value is. And I couldn't say that if we're specifically targeting WATA here, that there's some issues with the grading side of it. Are they manipulating the grades? And I would say probably not. I would say from a grading perspective, and if you're a collector, the WATA slabs look pretty nice. I don't collect a lot of video games, and I'd probably never have a game graded by WATA put up in a slab, put up behind me. Maybe it's possible, but there just isn't anything that I would say to myself, I need to have this thing graded. I'm just not that type of collector. On the reselling side, to me, there's a huge difference right now between the $1.5 million Mario N64 game that sold and the $4,500 Super Mario Brothers game that was not even sealed. I think there is a huge market of people out there. There's those that are trying to manipulate the market, and they deserve all of the negative publicity. They deserve to lose business. They deserve everything they get. That being said, I'm not sure that it's ever going to affect, regardless if you use WATA or regardless if you use VGA or if there's others that come online. I don't know if it's ever going to have too much of a dramatic effect on the number of people who are buying between the $500 to the $10,000 range. I think there are a lot of buyers out there who are investing in video games as an investment, And I think that range of purchases is probably going to continue, regardless if you get it graded through WATA. I'm just not sure if WATA is going to come down to that evil company in the buyer's eyes and look at it like, hey, I bought this video game in a slab that, by the way, was graded by a completely ridiculous company. I'm not sure the collector is really going to care about that. I could be wrong. I could be totally off base. I did have a bunch of games off being graded by WATA when this happened. I had over 30 games there, and I've only received 3 of them back, by the way. So I have a whole lot of games that are coming back, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna sell the games, and I don't really have a choice. I'm definitely gonna go that route. In the future, I have to think about where I'm gonna get my games graded. Will I use WATA again? I really don't know. I can tell you right now, I'm still waiting on all of my cards that were being graded by PSA to come back. That has now been over 9 months since I sent all of those cards in, and that is over about 200 cards that I'm still waiting on. And the frustrating thing is, I'll never send cards in to be graded again, ever. Regardless of whether the market starts to take off again, is an experience I will never take the time to do again because of the experience. Because as a reseller, there's no value in waiting 9 months to get my items, or longer. I might not get them back for a year in order to resell these items. It was a bad venture and I shouldn't have done it. And the same thing with video games. I don't want to wait a month or 2 months or 3 months to get my games graded to know that my investment is probably not going to be worth it at the end of the day. The Mario game has been sold. The story is over. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey because I certainly did. And that was today's episode, folks. I am definitely sweating today. It is a hot one here in the warehouse. I hope you guys enjoyed the Pokemon games. I'm definitely going to be putting those up for sale. For those of you watching this episode, if you want to reach out to me, try me on Instagram. There are a few of you who try to reach out to me from time to time. I do my best to get back to you, and I will try my best to get back to you for those of you who have open questions. And don't hesitate to reach out to me again. I have a full-time job. I have a few other things that I do on the side as well, so my time is like super limited, but I promise you I will get back to you. And the Mario game sold for over $4,500. I am absolutely excited about that. And of course we're gonna look for another journey just like that one, because it's always fun to kind of have one that takes us on a long trail and takes us into who knows where. Why am I popping up? Well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, I am editing this video and forgot the entire part where I'm putting in my profit and loss, and that is unacceptable. So now, totally different Nick is editing this part of the video and adding it in. Plus, I did a little bit different lighting here, and I'm messing around with that, so hopefully you like it. Last week, we left off with $11,352 in profit, and that just kind of set my world on fire. So I have been super busy over the last week, and that means some of my sourcing and actually some of my costs have gone down dramatically. This last week, I only spent $466 total. My Amazon payment was again 0, but later this week that finally changes, which I'm very happy about. My eBay total here was not amazing. Coming from a huge high last week down to this was a little bit disappointing. So $2,052, and I'll take it, but I'm not excited about it. So that means our weekly profit is $1,586. It's definitely down from the last few weeks, but that's all right. Don't worry, don't be upset. And that brings our grand total to $12,938, just shy of 13 grand. And we have most of the month of September, October, November, and December left. We're gonna hit our goal, $60,000. Thanks for watching.